7:42 in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, fashion time. The Tobago Fashion Weekend opens on May 25th and runs until May 27th. So the day after the People's Partnership have the big wind down to celebrate their second anniversary, they could probably all head over to the Sister Isle to recover and to enjoy some fashion as well. Now in its second year, the event is themed Dan Dan Fiesta and will feature Anya Ayongchi's first collection after her Project Runway triumph. At Tobago Fashion Week 2012, designers will not just be showing collections, but they will be exposed to retail and financial opportunities for the long-term development of their product through partnership with state and private institutions. We're joined now by founder designer Ashley Christmas in the middle, creative director Richard Young at the end, and designer Meiling, who needs no introduction, most appropriately closest to me, given that she has heard that I am the fashion antichrist and might be trying.
That's a bit harsh.
It's kind of accurate. But good morning to you all. Good to have you on the program. Mr. Christmas, tell us what's in store in Tobago Fashion Weekend.
Well, Tobago Fashion Weekend, this is his second installment under Tobago body. We're looking forward to a fashion park this year, which would feature a sub-brand called A Place Where Renewable Energy is Celebrated. What we're trying to marry this year is renewable energy and fashion where production is concerned. As you said, our fashion park is going to open on Friday. We're going to run from 5:30 through 8 o'clock is showtime. After that, people could come enjoy the fashion and also enjoy retail. This year we're trying to introduce something that most designers in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean are not used to, which is coming to an event, a fashion event, and also having the benefit of having retail available and buyers in the audience. So
where is it going to be based? Where is the entire exercise going to be?
It's going to be at beautiful Pigeon Point Heritage Park, one of the best places on the planet, my opinion.
You're not biased, of course.
Not at all.
Richard Young, what is your role? What is your involvement in Tobago Fashion Weekend?
Well, coordinating the creative aspects, which is in terms of choreography and the sequencing, the music coordination, working with the models, getting them ready, aligning them with the designers based on their preferences of body types and structure and so.
So you're going to have no maga kind of bare bones kind of.
We have all sorts of models.
Because you know the international fashion world is kind of frowning on that thing.
Yes, we're frowning on that now. And we have a little pulchritude in this part of the world. So we have
a little meat on the bones.
Yeah. So we have
thick thing.
We have some very interesting women. In fact, the model search turned out really extraordinarily, and we have beautiful types ranging from 5'8" to 6'1", and some amazing features. I think we're probably going to discover the next somebody there. They need a little training to get that sense of presence, but certainly absolutely beautiful, untouched, unspoiled. They're not aware of their beauty, and I think that's when it's really charming and fascinating.
Well, clearly they haven't been involved in the media, because we in the media are always full of ourselves, so if they're not full of themselves as yet, give them some time in the media and they will. Meiling, I understand that this is going to be an historic moment that you will be showing in the Sister Isle for the first time.
Yeah, I think I show on Saturday evening. It's a Saturday evening that I'm showing. Last year I was invited to Fashion Weekend in Tobago, and I was struck with the magic of the whole setup. I mean, it's you get to the venue with no problems, no traffic. You sit under a beautiful tent. Is it a tent, Ashley? And you look out to Pigeon Point. It is absolutely magical. I've been to fashion weeks throughout the Caribbean and South America, and to me, this is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful venue for it. I mean, just being there, I said to Ashley, well, I'd love to show this here. I also think they have an amazing press, media presence, a lot of magazines coming in, buyers, and I think this is what, fashion is not just about beautiful clothes and pretty girls. Fashion is business.
Yes.
And I think, and getting that media attention. So I think...
Are we up to speed in the business of fashion in Trinidad and Tobago?
No, I don't, not
Why?
at all. I don't know. I think a lot of it is because people really don't see it as a business. I've been running my business, I mean, with lots of challenges, and a few others like myself for the last 30 or 40 years. But I think the young people coming up are always, I always say, it's not just about fashion shows. And Trinidad looks at fashion in a way, and hopefully it's changing as entertainment. Everybody rings the office, they want a tea party and a fashion show, they want a barbecue and a fashion show. And really it doesn't grow your client base, it doesn't make sales, the garments come back and they're damaged or they're soiled. But I think now that the trade and the government is looking to make fashion another sector, young people have to realize that it is a business. I mean, I employ about 16 people, and I mean, you can see, and I've done this for a long, long time, and I know that there certainly has been challenges, but people have to realize that it is a business and it is not entertainment.
But is it a bacchanal, cutthroat sort of environment where people thief in one another designs and all sorts of things?
Not really. I don't think that really happens in Trinidad. The fashion world is nothing is new in fashion, and I mean, it says that it's people buy divas and people buy, people have these fears that their designs are stolen, but not really. And this is a small island, and it can only grow, and it was once a very vibrant industry. I mean, we didn't have the design, but we had the industry going, and hopefully we'll get there. But I think Ashley sits on the FIDC board, and he can tell us more about what's going on.
First of all, what is the FIDC?
Fashion Industry Development Committee, that's through the Ministry of Trade. It was appointed this year in January. The FIDC is going to oversee the feasibility study of the fashion industry in Trinidad and Tobago, so we make the right moves from the onset.
Do we actually have a viable fashion industry? Because we just see, it's even with an indigenous product of quality, people still seem to be preoccupied with things from the outside.
Well, what we have more than anything else, we have the potential to have a viable fashion industry. We have all the key components in place. It's just to have everything lined up and have it working in unison. So with the
but that seems to be the hardest part, the implementation. Because
the implementation, we've been trying for years, and really, what is a fact? It's the manufacturing that we have to get right. Getting people to want to come back and sit at machines and produce.
People actually work, to get to work is a different matter in itself. But
on the other side, the appreciation of it. So there's a psyche shift that has to happen, because you see people still looking outward.
People seek validation in Yves Saint Laurent and all of these big people with the fancy names from outside, as if them come here and say, oh, this is good, that automatically becomes good, even though it's a waste of time. Do we believe in ourselves at all, Meiling?
Well, not only in fashion. Do we believe in ourselves as a whole?
But fashion is an element of it.
And one of the main things that they don't believe in ourselves. I think, Richard, probably in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a whole wave of the cloth and Claudia and Heather, and people wanted to wear local designers.
It's an identity branding thing.
And that is what, and then cable
remember the problem you caused with Gerard Yetming when he went and wearing a mailing thing and caused bacchanal in the parliament?
But then cable television came in, and everybody wanted to be a Kim Kardashian, or Rihanna, Beyonce, and nobody really, they lost. I mean, they didn't want to wear local designers, but I think this can happen. It's about rebranding. It's about this whole buy local drive of believing who we are and we as good as.
Well, we had buy local in the 70s,
So I think this has to be, it has to be a complete
reinvigorated
package.
And in the couple of minutes that we have left, Ashley Christmas, when we see the designs for those who go on May 25th to the 27th, Tobago Fashion Weekend, will they see designs that they could say, aha, this is something distinctive, this is not a photocopy of somebody else or some other environment?
I'd like to make a quick correction before I move on to and answer that question. Anya Young Chi's presence at Tobago Fashion Weekend is going to be just her presence due to constraints within her camp. There are certain things that she will not be able to show because of
contractual obligations.
Correct.
That's a polite way of saying it.
All right. We're going to see stuff on the runway this year in a different way, because we have a committee that's doing QC, quality control. Before anybody can hit the runway, you got to meet a certain criteria, and until that criteria is met, we're trying to stay on top of that so we can definitely improve on what we're going to create as a product coming out of Trinidad and Tobago. Most of the designers don't like it. It's an uncomfortable situation because it's not something that we're used to. But if we have to make our industry grow, we have to put that structure in place, and we have to start somewhere. So why not start at Dandan Fiesta?
Is that an issue for us, Meiling, the whole question of quality control, maintaining standards?
It is, because I have to say that I'm part of the committee with Ashley's screening. And you know, even when I had to show in Colombia or in Santo Domingo, I had to send garments before, and it was like doing an exam. And anyone who has to show in New York at any sort of prestigious trade show or fashion show, you have to be screened before. So I want the young designers there to know that this is nothing new. This is where they're going to find this at any part of the world, at any trade or fashion show or fashion week that has some weight. And what I want to say now, and I'm going to take this opportunity
very
to
quickly,
it, that education in the industry, education as a designer is absolutely necessary.
It's like you're singing Sparrow Old Calypso about education, education. Thanks very much, Meiling, for coming in. Ashley Christmas and Richard Young as well. Don't forget Tobago Fashion Weekend, May 25th to 27th at Pigeon Point. And yes, a lot in store. And the QC, you don't have to worry, it's not a Queen's Counsel, not like me on your frayed lawyers. And you think about QC, it's quality control that they're talking about with fashion in 2012 in the Sister Isle. The news, and then I'll be back to wrap up the program.